Hello, my crafty friends and creators from around the globe. Welcome back to Hither and Yon Studio. DJ here, and today I'm going to show you how you can use up your paper shopping bags, grocery bags. I'm sure we all have quite a few of these. Here in New York, they passed a law about plastic bags not being used. However, they're still using them. They're just charging you for them now. But anyway, we get a lot of these paper bags from a variety of stores and shops. So I thought we would make good use of them and turn them into something else that we could use. So I started playing around, and I was able to make these cool little envelopes. So these would be great for any. This is a standard mailing envelope. And it's got a little flap. I'm not going to flip it over because I put my return address on it already, but this is a smaller version. But as you can see, it's got a little flap you can close, and you can put anything in there. You could store stuff in here. If you collect seeds, these would be good for storing seeds or mailing seeds. So we can do some smaller ones like this. I had some leftover remnants of a paper bag, so I made this little insert which can go into a journal, or you could send it as a card and tuck in some photographs, or just about anything, I guess, your imagination can come up with. Maybe a tea bag here if you have a friend that drinks tea. Yeah, anything like that. Stickers. So we have these bags, and I chose the ones without the handles, but I have some with handles, and I saved the handles for some other crafting projects. But you can just, cut off the handles, and then we want to get this to, a large piece. So what I found was the easiest way to do that was to just take the bottom of the bag and cut off the bottom of the bag, and you probably think of a lot of ways to do that. And when you do that, it looks like this, so it's kind of open in the bottom. And then I just picked the side that they fold here, where they fold and glue it, and I just cut down that seam, and that gives me this huge piece of paper bag fabric. I'm just going to move the camera up a little here. Hang on one second. We're going to go for a ride. Okay. I think we're a little better, but anyway, so yeah, so you get a big sheet like this, and if you want to, you can go ahead and iron it. I didn't really do that. I didn't feel the need to do that, but you can certainly do that if you wish. And then we're just going to cut this into usable pieces. Now, the part that is glued here, you can probably just cut that off. I mean, you can tear it off as well and use that for something else if you want. And now we want to cut this into manageable sizes. Now, this is not going to fit in my paper cutter. So I'm going to use my scissors and just get a chunk of this off so we can start the process. Let me get my bigger scissors. And you don't have to be precise here. You can you just need a starting point. So I'll start with this piece here. Put this to the side. This can go over here, and now I'll get out my cutter, and to make this size envelope, which this fits within the size requirements for a standard stamp. So what we can do is cut this down to 9.5 inches by 10.5 inches, and we need to square it off first, or I do. Please feel free to do this any way you like, but I'm going to square it off, and still not going to fit my trimmer, so let me try this way. I just want one flat end to start working with. And so one edge there, maybe. Hang on. Go through everything. All right, there we go. And so I'm going to, let's see, what do I got here? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we'll get 10. Either way I can go. So I'm going to start with the longest end and make this the 10.5. So let's measure up to 10.5. And we'll cut here. All right. Paper trimmer is going to be a little testy today. Okay, so this is the 10.5 side, and now I want to go 9.5. So we'll lay it out this way, and we'll line this up to the 9.5 mark. There we go. And this is just, you know, a great way to kind of recycle. You're not throwing them in the landfill. We also use them as garbage bags, book covers. There's a lot of other uses, but these seem to be more practical, especially if you do a lot of mail or happy mail and you're always looking for envelopes. These make really great envelopes. I think they stand out a little bit more. Your label stands out more. They're great to stamp on, decorate with stickers, everything. So I like this you know, kind of brown background. All right, so we have our piece that is 9.5 by 10.5 approximately. Let's see. 9.5 by 10.5. All right, so now what we want to do is take the side that is 10.5 and have it on the top and the bottom, and then your 9.5 is going to be on either side. Okay, and this is going to give us approximately a 5 by 7 envelope with like a 2-inch flap that closes. So we're going to take this and just fold it about halfway, maybe a little less than halfway. And you can go ahead and measure this. I'm going to measure it on my mat, but you can measure it with a standard ruler. And I'm going to go, this is going to be my 5-inch, so I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to fold over approximately at that 5-inch mark. And we don't need a big deep seam here where we're matching them up. It doesn't have to overlap a lot. So just a tiny bit so we can have enough space to glue. So as close as you can get. You don't have to be 100% precise unless you want to be, unless that's how you roll, by all means. All right, so this is 5, and now this is going to be the 7. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold up this edge approximately an inch. Or so. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be. All right, and then this one we're going to fold about 2 inches over. So 1, 2, just kind of folding this down a little. And you want to keep it rather straight. And I'm just taking a bone folder, or this is from my scoring board, and folding that over to make it really tight. And now once you have that folded over, you should measure about 5 by 7. Mine's a little over 5. Oh, a little under 7 and 5 exactly on the noggin. So just, you know, I can shorten this a little if I want, so then I can bring it closer to 7. So let's do that. Let's see. Yeah, right about there. Okay, so now that you have that, what you want to do is open it back up, and we're going to cut off some of this. So the parts we're going to cut off are this end of the shorter side. So this is the thinner edge. This was the one that was about 2 inches down. So we're going to cut off this one and this one. We're going to cut off this one and this one. And then we'll just put a little cut in a little here to make a flap like this. See how I've cut that in just a bit so that it made the bottom there. All right, so let's do that. Grab those scissors or your cutter, whatever, your knife, whatever you're comfortable working with, and just cut those pieces off. Like so. And there. Okay, and then we're just going to do that little corner and approximately the same. And now here we'll cut this off, and I did 2 lines, so I'm just going to do my upper one, that second fold that I did. And same thing here. And I didn't mention this, but you may, if you have, you know, a side with printing, you may want to fold it so that that's on the inside. I am going to do that, and it doesn't matter at this point that I haven't done that, so your folds don't matter at this point. You know, whether you folded them in or out. All right, let's put those to the side. And now, we're going to go this way. All right, and now to round this off, like I did here, very simple. We're just gonna fold these 2 edges together. So this is laid out like this. I'm just gonna fold it in half this way and marry up these corners up here on the top flat like that. And then I'm just gonna eyeball it and just cut a little rounded edge there. You can use a corner rounder if you want. I don't know where mine is at the moment, but anyway, I'm just gonna cut it. So if you don't have a corner rounder, I don't really use it. I just kind of eyeball it, and you can draw a line if that, you know, if that's better for you. But there you go. And now we have just like a little rounded flap there. Just gonna clean that up. Yeah, and so that's what we have. And now what we're going to do, well, let me fold it this way because I want this in, is we're just going to fold this over. We're going to glue this edge together. And whatever glue you have, I'm going to just use some PVA that I have in one of these bottles I got from the dollar store. They started selling these and I started hoarding them because I love that they make like a very thin line. And it's just easier to control. So I just put a little glue up there, and you don't want to glue down further than you have overlap, if that makes sense. And you're just gonna, which I have effectively done. All right, so let's see. I'll take some of that off. All right, you don't need a lot of glue, so you just want to glue that together. Make sure it's stuck real well and that it's not stuck to the inside of your envelope. There we go. Square this off again like that. And then we're going to glue this bottom flap up like so. All right. Super easy. And if you're just making these envelopes, you can probably get a good 3 of them, if not more, out of one bag. Though I haven't done that where I've actually seen how many I can get. I just use the scraps to make other things, like you saw there. All right, so, and there you go. So now we can decorate it. Now I have this kind of printing showing up here, which I'm not too crazy about. So I'm just going to take some washi. All right. I'm going to take some of this washi and I'm just going to cover over it. And I'm also going to put this washi on, so I'm just going to leave a little gap for that washi. Let's line this up to the top. Hard to see with the camera. There we go. And a little of this one. And then we'll cut around it to square it, you know, to fit it to the piece there. So there we go. Do that. Ta-da. We'll just cut around here and get off that excess washi. Sticky. Sticky, sticky, sticky. Hope everyone's having a great day today. I'd love to hear what you're crafting, what you're making, what you love to create. If you can comment, I'd love to hear about it. There we go. And then you have a kind of a pretty inside. And when we fold this over, it just so happened that that piece that I tore off landed there. So I am just going to put a little piece of washi there as an accent. And I am going to glue this one down because this is the part that would go through the mail, you know, if it has to be machined or something, and I don't want it falling off, so we'll just do that like so. Not exactly straight. Let's see if we can straighten that out a little. Yeah. And now that's covered. That off. That's perfect. Okay, there. And now you can decorate. So let's stamp on this one. And let's see, what do I got handy? All right. We'll use some of these. Let's do the back. Have this cute little sunflower, sunflowers in a vase here. This is Inkadinkadoo, and the set is, I happen to know this one. I got this at Hobby Lobby. It is Say It With Flowers, and it's 60-31453 if you want to go grab it. But if you have a Hobby Lobby, you can probably find it on Amazon, since we can find everything on Amazon. Right, we'll just, and probably better to do all this stamping with nothing in it so that you get a clean stamp, though I found like that sometimes doesn't even matter, so we'll see what happens. All right, cross your fingers. Let's see what we get. Hold that on there. Close up the ink. Ooh, pretty. There we go. I like it. You know, and you can go to town. I'm just going to stamp this off here. With your decorating of your envelopes, add in some stickers or some more washi, whatever you have around. You know, use what you have. Don't be, you know, if you don't have this stamp set, use the stamps you have. If you don't have any stamps, use a potato and carve it out. You know, use an eraser, mark making, paint it. You can do so many things with it. So use what you have. And then there you go. Just put your label, your return address, maybe write, you know, some sentiments on it. I wrote hello and I smile. These are from that same set with the hummingbird, and then happiness blooms from within. And put a little bee there, like a monogram. So you can do a lot of different things with them. So that is number 1. All right. So we saw that. Now we're just going to make a smaller version. And this is just to demonstrate that no measuring required. So if you don't like to measure, that's fine. You don't have to. And these would be great. You could use these to store, like these little ones. You can use them to store things. If you send Happy Mail, I use these to store my stickers when I send stickers, so they're separated out. And then I'll just write stickers on here, or I'll put a sticker, one of the stickers on there. And you can make these in all different sizes. And again, you don't have to measure. So we're just gonna cut on a straight line to square this up. So your size may be different from my size if you're playing along. I'm going to cut off that torn piece, like so. And then I'm going to put that side down and cut off this rough edge here. Like so. And then you want one side to be slightly longer than the other. So the thinner side, because you're going to want to fold it in. So I'm just going to take advantage of hopefully this line here and just cut where it's been folded by the manufacturer. All right, we'll put that to the side. And now I just have a random square. It actually looks more square than it does rectangular, but either way, it'll still work. This is almost a perfect square. I couldn't have done that if I was measuring. So, all right. So then you just want to, again, I'm going to put this side inside. You just want to fold over one and kind of line it up on the bottom here, you know, like that. And then we'll fold over the other so it just overlaps a little. It's hard to see because it's all attaching to itself, but you can see this one just overlaps just slightly like that. And we'll glue, nope, we're not gluing yet. We're not gluing yet. Don't get crazy and ahead of yourself, Dee. All right, I'll just fold this up. So fold one side up slightly. That'll be that part that we cut the corners out of. And then fold this piece down, however far you want to go. We're not measuring, so it's completely up to you. And now that's going to be about the size of our envelope. That works for me. That would hold a lot of stickers or some seeds or something like that. And I don't know what went wrong here, but somehow it's got all wonky. I'm dropping stuff. Okay. So now we do some cutting, and again, we're going to cut out this corner, and square, and then this piece and this piece here. Okay. So we'll cut. And I'm going to make those little tabbies at the same time I'm cutting here. So I'm just going to angle my scissors a little and cut. Kill two birds with one stone. Mother always used to say, let's kill two birds with one stone. And then we do 6 things. And I'm like, that's way more than 2 birds. All right. And then there. Okay. And now we will cut out this piece here as a complete rectangle. So just the edges, and if you're bored with this process, you can just fast forward ahead onto the next piece. But we're going to cut this here, And then we're gonna fold this over in half again. And you don't have to round them. You can leave it like that, although this one's just wonky, isn't it? You can just leave it squared like that if that's more your flavor. And I'm going to round it because that's more my flavor. There we go. That's my flap. Now we can, if you want to get fancy, you can sew, right? And if you like to sew, you could sew all around this here. Obviously before you close it, because otherwise you're going to sew your envelope closed. So I would just sew maybe around here or stitch, and then or you could just do the square, up to you. That would be cute, I think, if you did like a decorative stitch or something. So let's see, what do we got here? All right, let's see if we can not over glue here. Tiny bit of glue. Close that down. And then we'll glue this bottom flap over. Like so. And this is PVA glue, so it dries clear, so it's okay if it comes out a little. And there you go. And you could ink this up if you like to ink things. If you wanted, and you didn't want to use this, you know, as a mail or to send something, you could actually just cut this flap off and use this in, say, a junk journal as to hold a card or to make as a side pocket. So you could cut this off, or you could keep it and just put a little, I might actually do that. So let's put a little, like, cutout piece there, and then I could use it in a journal and just put a tag in there like that, or a little piece of paper for journaling, and then just close it over and maybe you know, put one of those circle punch type pieces like this, or you could do those things where you have one here and one here, and then you tie them. You can do something like that. So a couple of different ways you could use them. But yeah, so that is number 2. Done and done. And we still have plenty of paper bag left and all these like end cuts and scraps. So it couldn't have gone far. I just had it. Where did the other part of my paper bag go? Found it. All right, it ran away to the other side of the room. All right, as you can see, I have all of this left. So you could make so many of those envelopes out of this. I could probably get another, at least 3 envelopes out of this one bag, and some other smaller ones as well. So lots left. And then we have all these kind of end cuts. And so what I did, which was fun, was I just took this and squared it up. Let's cut off some of this rough bit here. And side. Okay. Wow, that, I'm not really sure what happened there. That's weird. Okay, let's try this again. For some reason, this side was straight, but this side seemed crooked. Yeah, way crooked. That was weird. Okay, I don't know. We'll try it again. All right, much better. Yeah, and so since this is a rather long piece, what I could do is just fold this over itself. And instead of using up a piece of my cardstock, I can just use this, glue it together, glue these sides together, and I can make a tag out of this for my junk journal. So, hello. All right, let's get rid of the cutter. Let's glue it all together. So let me get a little something to glue on here. And I have a card somewhere. Here we go. That, I'll use for squishing out the glue. And we'll glue these together. So this will give it a little more stability, make it a little more rigid, and then I don't have to use up my cardstock. And it's a different, aesthetic. It's got the brown instead of the cardstock color. And you don't have to use up your pretty printed paper. So let's line that up, and then we'll smush it all down. Make sure it's really glued from end to end. Like so. Yeah, now it's a lot more rigid. And oh, there it is. Here's my corner round punch. So we can round these, and actually let's make this a journaling card, right? And that can go in a pocket, maybe even the pocket we just made. That worked out. All right, and so now that it's glued, we want to decorate it. So I brought some scraps out that I want to decorate with. No. Let's see what we have in the scrap bin. Going through the scrap bin. All right, there we go. That's pretty. We'll use that. And I'm just going to cut it so that it's just a little shy, and then I'll round the corners and it'll kind of fit in the middle there. So, yeah, so I'm just going to make it a little shorter here and a little shorter here. So I'm going to flip it over and just mark it. So we'll mark it here and about there. And we're not measuring, no measuring required. We're just going to eyeball it. And you don't need a cutter. You can use your scissors and a ruler. I just happen to have it here, so I'm going to use it. Whatever's handy. But don't wait for the tools to get started. Start where you are. Use what you have, right? You will put this here. So, all right. And let's see. Yep, we'll round those corners. Or you can just leave both pieces square, then you don't have to round anything. You don't need a corner round punch. So that'll fit like that. And I'm gonna ink, because that's what I do. I ink, and I think it'll make it stand out a little more. And if you don't like to ink, you don't have to. You could try even like drawing some faux stitching on it instead. That would be cute. Oh, or even stitching this once it's down. Real stitching. That would be fun too. All right. Nice and grungy, and then we'll do this one. Might as well, right? Got the ink out. Might as well ink. That's what I say. So this is Distress ink. This is Vintage Photo from Ranger. And my favorite color. I have it in the oxide too, which I use to do faux tea dyeing. So with the oxide, I'll just put the oxide all over, and because it's really smooth and yummy and meshes together really well, unlike the ink, it lays all over the card, and then I'll drop little drops of water on it and pull them up with a paper towel or a baby wipe, or just a rag that I might have laying around, and then it makes it look like it's tea dyed. It's really nice, a nice effect. So there we go. That's cool. I like that. We'll get our glue sheet back. Glue on this. over, eyeball it. And I'm using the PVA glue, so I have a little more time to maneuver it and make it even. And I'll just squish that out. Oh, it's not exactly even, but that's okay. Perfection not required. And there, and then on this side, I'll just give it a little more ink. You could use this side as a journaling side. So what I like to do is take my ink. Actually, let me use, you could use any ink. I'm just going to use my StazOn because it's darker, and this is darker. And then this is just a piece of cardboard that I tore out of a box that I got from Amazon, and then I ripped off the top layer. So you usually like have two pieces of paper, and then this rigid part is between them, and I use this to make lines. So you can see I've used it a couple of times, more than a couple. I'm just going to put it on my ink pad, and it's very absorbent, so you kind of got to get some ink on here. And then you can just put it down on your card and press it in. Hold it there for a minute so that that gets out. We don't want to ruin our card here, so. And then, ta-da! You have like a little journaling space there. And now we have some room up here where we can add a little something, something. Oh, what do I got? What do I have? What do I have? I have stuff. I know I do. Oh, aren't these cute? They're like little gypsy women. I don't know, I forget what kit they're from. If I can think about it, I'll link it below, but there's like a ton of them and they're so cute. All right, what else do I have? I have these little scraps. Oh, I know what I have. I have butterflies somewhere. Maybe? Of course, I cleaned up and now I have nothing. Hang on one second. I'm just going to grab something. Oh, actually, you know what? No, I'm not. I'm not leaving. I'm going to use what I have right here. So, I wonder if this will fit. This might fit. This little hummingbird. That's what we're using. Here's my block. Here's my hummingbird. Let's get some ink. Good. All right. Now we'll stick that down. Let's do like so. Ta-da! Oh, that's cute. I like that. And I like how it's, you know, kind of one tone. It doesn't have other different colors, and then you flip it over to this side and it's really bright. So that's nice. You could also probably put a little word there. I think I have a word in this pack, so let me get that. We'll see what that looks like. Put him back. We're gonna be a bad stamp mommy and not clean you right now. Oh, I got smile. I'll use smile. So there, more stamping, more inking, and yeah. Very nice. I like it. I think I have ink on me because I'm getting it everywhere. But that's nice. And there we go. So we have a little journal card there that we could use. And I'll get rid of of some of this stuff. Like the absent-minded professor, stuff flying everywhere. And these will go in my scrap bin, and that's what I make my handmade paper out of. So no waste. I'm not throwing that all out. So we're actually using the entire bag. Now we have this piece. So what we can do, and I'm just winging it, we're gonna just fold this over like so. Ta-da. And we'll just square this up a little. I'm gonna take the cutter, I'm just gonna do it by hand. So, perfect. And let's see, it's probably a little long for a little booklet. Oh wait, no it wouldn't be if I maybe just kind of made a little spine. So do that. And same here. Let's see, will that work? I'm not measuring, so it's a free-for-all. Yeah, so we have a little spine. And now, since I didn't measure, I'm a little off here, so I'll just cut it. Actually, I'm going to cut it a lot. There we go. And we'll glue this together. So I'm just gluing one side to the other to give it some durability. It up a little. Squish, squish, squish. This is just wax paper, but if you have a craft mat, that's great. I don't like to get the goo all over the cutting surface because then I use it for fabric and it makes a mess. Yeah, and there we go. Now I'm just going to refold that spine a little. And this one. All right, and now we have a little booklet. Again, I think I have to cut some more off of this, but you know, we're just making with what we have. We're making it work for us. And then, let's see, you could take some tea-dyed papers. I never have them around, and I just made a bunch too, but I didn't bring them out. So, let me see. Okay, here, this will work. So, this all. And we'll cut this down so it fits inside. There and about there. This time I'm going to use the cutter because we know how good I am at cutting straight lines. All right, so here. Like that. And then no, I'll just get one for now. It will just be to demonstrate the possibilities. So we'll fold these in half. Let's just say this was, a bunch of scraps the same size. So I cut this just shy of the inside here. But the other piece doesn't match exactly, so you'll have to use your imagination, boys and girls. And then we'll stick this. So you could put a couple of sheets of paper, and then you put them here in the middle and sew them on the sewing machine or to your spine. I suppose if you have a long enough stapler, you could staple them. Or you could glue it if you have one sheet. Now, I have seen where you can glue that and then glue that to that. If you want to give that a shot and that's all you have, by all means do that. And then you have, you know, a little booklet. So, you know, you could put some square photo on the front here. An Instagram size photo printed out would work really well. You could even do that for the sides here in the back, and then send this to, say, a friend of yours with some fun pictures of yourself doing things together when we are allowed to do things together with people we love. And, you know, put some paper in there and then write some little notes, or, yeah, I guess the possibilities are as endless as your imagination. So that would be that. So you can go ahead and decorate that up. You could also make this like a hidden paper clip, or clip this inside of your, you know, your journal, or inside of a card. That would be fun. You could do that. All right. So those are some ideas that you could use to use up your paper bags. I also, you saw this before, I took a paper bag and I crumbled it up, and I wet it and crumbled it some more, and I opened it and crumbled it and opened it and crumbled it. And then I glued it to a tag. I glued it down, put glue all over the tag, glued down the crumbled up paper bag. I let it dry really well. And then I came in with my distress ink and I just kind of went over it like this. And you kind of get that faux leather look. If you do it with distress oxide, you get a much better look. But yeah, and then you can, if you use the oxide, you could throw some water on it and pull it off, or you could use a stencil and pull it off. But this is another use for a paper bag. It's great. So this is just a cardstock tag that I cut out on my Cricut, and then I just put this over the top of it and glued it down. And yeah, look at that. It's a great little base, and in a nature journal or a traveler's journal, this would be a great idea, maybe with a map on one side and this kind of faux look on the other. So lots of things you can do with your paper bags. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found it fun, I hope you'll like it and share it, or you can just subscribe if you didn't like it that much, and maybe the next one will work out better for you. Thanks again for stopping by, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.